Welcome back to the GreenLight Investor for the week ending January 22nd, 2016. Our goal at the GreenLight Investor is to provide a unique resource to make managing your 401k both a simple and easy process. We do this with a worksheet that uses red, green, and yellow cells to help you decide when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be taken as personal investment advice. The examples I'll be showing are exactly that. They are examples of how you can use this worksheet as an additional resource to help you manage your 401k. Please refer to your own investment policy to make sure that the choices you make are appropriate for both your investment time horizon as well as your understanding and acceptance for taking risk in financial markets. Let's go ahead and go right into our worksheet and see what we've got for this week. On the left side of this worksheet, we always start out with the investment choices that are available to you within your 401k. The columns are headed by the fund number, the symbol, the fund name, and a brief description of the fund. As you scroll down this, we'll start out with the core investments or the index funds, and we'll proceed to go into the satellite funds, which start out with the money market, fixed income, the U.S. growth and income, U.S. equity funds, and then the international funds and sector funds round out the bottom of the sheet. At the top of the sheet, we're generally a little more conservative on the investments, and as we scroll down and go into the international and sector funds, those tend to be more aggressive picks. They're going to move up or down a lot more with the direction of the market. Center of the worksheet, we have the performance for 2016. The columns we have are the closing price each week, the month to date, quarter to date, and the year to date return for each of the funds. We do this so you can keep track of how the funds that you have are doing relative to the overall market, as well as the other funds that are available to you within your different categories. And finally, on the right side of this worksheet, we have the current market trends. These are the weekly trends that will update each week. Most important column that I like to look at is column V. I use that as a relative strength change on a week-over-week basis. When you see a positive number and a bright green light, that tends to be the stronger performing fund. And when you see the bright red as well as negative numbers, those tend to be the funds that have had a hard time performing for the week. It's good to look at. That gives you an idea of which funds, particularly right at the top, are moving the best and in which direction. Then in column W, each week what we're going to do is we'll highlight for each week a trend score. If the trend is positive on a week-over-week basis, it'll be a green light with a positive number. And as you see here, we've had 3 weeks in a row with all of these showing red. And progressively, the numbers are becoming more negative, so that's showing general weakness in the overall market. These are interesting because what you can see is the trend starting to change a little bit early as these numbers start to change. As they start to get more positive, you'll notice that that fund may be strengthening even before it turns into a green light. Let's scroll down and look at a few more. We have the bond fixed income funds. Those are red, so we've been staying away from those. But you are seeing the short and intermediate term trends start to turn a little bit more green, which shows a little bit of strength as capital is moving into these markets for safety. We go into the growth and income funds, and again, we're seeing 4 weeks of red. We are seeing this week, we're seeing just a little bit of strength as the markets are looking for a bottom in here. We're seeing the neutral in the short term, but our long-term trends are generally bearish. This is a similar situation as we go into the U.S. equities. We've got 3 solid weeks of red, and mostly red and yellow in the long and the intermediate term, but we are seeing the markets trying to find a bottom as we're seeing the short-term trend turn neutral. And as we continue scrolling down, we're seeing very similar situations where we've got 3 weeks of generally red signs, with the relative strength scores generally turning more negative on a week-over-week basis. The bright side, and something just to be aware of, is that in the short term, it looks like the downtrend is stalling out here as we start to see a short-term trend turn more neutral. Column U is the long-term trend. We like to look at that one. That's a very important column, and that should be turning into a yellow or should be turning green to be putting new capital into the funds. So good thing to look for is finding in column U, you'd like to see a yellow or a green light. Generally, you'd like to see a green light showing relative strength on a week-over-week basis. And for the core system that we like to follow, we generally will look for 2 weeks of green lights showing that there's a trend in place. If you're a more aggressive investor, you can start to look for the numbers to turn positive and then invest in that trend. But there is certainly a lot more risk that that trend may not start to develop. So a number of different ways you can use these to make your investment choices. And again, you should refer to your own risk tolerance and time horizon when making choices. With that general introduction, let's see how you can actually use this to manage your 401k. To get to our asset allocation section, you'll click on View, go to Custom Views, and then you'll click on My Current Allocation. Once that's highlighted, click Show, and then your selections will be highlighted right here. What we'll see is because of the amount of red that's been filling in this worksheet, we've moved to the 100% into the money market ago, and we'll be staying there until we start to see some of the green lights appear. Let's go ahead and slide this over just to see how the markets are doing and see if there's anything we need to do this week and which funds we may be looking at to go into shortly. As I said just a little bit earlier, we like to see a green light or at least a yellow light in column U, which is the long-term trend. And we'll also like to see at least one, preferably two of these columns in W and X turn into green. When we see that, you're generally starting to see some strength turn into the market. So we like to invest into the strength and let the relative strength trend be our friend. As I said, we're 100% in money market, and as we scroll down, there's just a handful of funds that have yellow lights here. So what we'll look for is to see the numerical values start to get less negative or turn green, but these are quite a ways from turning green. So if you're an aggressive investor, what you'll look for are the numbers to turn less negative or start to turn positive, and those will be the funds you'll most likely want to look at or consider for your investments going forward. Some of the stronger ones that have had less carnage done, it seems to be, are the sector funds at the bottom. The relative strength scores are generally a little bit closer, and those may turn around first, and you can see which of these sectors will start out of the gate the strongest. Again, we'll be looking for these to turn yellow, which some of them already are, and then we'll highlight which ones are the green lights, and we'll be looking for the green lights in column W. As we see those, these will most likely be the first funds that we'll be looking to get into. But with that said, there's really nothing that we need to do this week. Start doing our homework in case the market does start to head north or continue north, and we'll want to start investing as soon as we see some of the green lights appear. That's what I've got for this week. Let's go ahead and go back to our home page. We'll do that by clicking on Custom Views, and we'll do that with the performance columns. We'll highlight that and then click Show. That'll take us back to our home page where we can do more research. Speaking of research, just a couple more highlights. If you want to go to an asset allocation questionnaire based on your age, your time horizon, and your ability to take on risk, just click up here and there'll be a questionnaire that will help you sort out some of the asset allocation questions. And as you're deciding on the funds, you can always click on any of these funds to go to an outside website that will help you do a little bit of additional research on any of the funds. You can find some of the top holdings, as well as information about the fund, its past performance, and a phone number if you want to get a prospectus talk to the company itself and let them help you decide which funds you'd like to be in. That said, that's what we've got for this week. I hope it's been helpful. Give you some insights and some resources for managing your 401k choices. If you'd like to get a copy of this, you can go to the website at thegreenlightinvestor.org. Please feel free to go there. You can download this worksheet each week. And if you'd like to get a copy, just simply send me your email and I'll put you on a mailing list. And we'll send this out to you usually every Sunday morning. You'll get a copy of this and you can go through it. Take you about 5 minutes to go through, and you can see how your funds are doing and hopefully stay on top of the fund choices as this market moves around. Thanks again for taking a few minutes out of your weekend to watch this. Hope you have a great weekend, and thank you again.